Warning, the following radio show was rated a D- by those that are complacent, apathetic, and atheist. Broadcasting live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Central. This is the Solid Reasons Morning Show, tackling the tough issues head on, telling you exactly what you need, exactly when you want it, all from a Christian worldview. This is the Solid Reasons Morning Show.
Good morning, Solid Reasons Morning Show. My name is Philippe Alexander.
We're going to be much more awake today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
donuts and coffee, forget about it.
Scrounge around doing some things. I thought I heard some weird noises, but then I realized I didn't. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
I am well, too.
Tired.
Are you?
I am.
I was really tired, and then I moved a bunch of furniture around.
Yeah, it helps. When I worked at the factory, I'd have to get up sometimes at 4:30.
Factory
Get there at 5. But once I got in there, once I started working,
then that was it.
I was good to go.
That's great.
And I was just looking forward to the first break.
For those of you that are listening, thank you. For those of you that are in the Milwaukee area and driving around wondering what you should eat for breakfast, you should stop by the office here and eat a donut with us.
Yep, got a half dozen.
You don't know where we are? That's unfortunate. We'll eat all the donuts for you. There's not that many anyway.
No.
Did you get a half dozen?
I got a half dozen.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, what are we going to eat? 12 donuts? Are you nuts? Maybe. I mean, I love donuts.
Hey man, we got enough coffee over there to go with those donuts.
We really do. We have enough coffee. So if you're in the area, you know where we are.
If you're driving around and you're like, hey, is that Philip and Anthony right there? I think that... Anyway. So yesterday was an interesting show. We brought on Jonathan McLatchy, and then we had some issues with time. Yeah. Apparently...
He really got a lot in 5 minutes. I'm telling you, he really...
That was crazy, yeah.
Stuffed it in there, and it was really good, actually.
He's like, what's that? I only have 2.5 minutes? No problem. Here are all the...
Here's a conventional 10 objections, and I'll answer all of them detailed.
Okay, this is the situation. Blah, 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 blah,
is he
blah, blah,
Scottish? What is he?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
I'm going to ask him.
So anyway, we had an issue yesterday. So initially when I talked to Jonathan, we set up the interview with him.
Yeah.
We set it up like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you know what happened recently? Here?
No.
In the U.S.?
What happened?
Where we care very much about the crop rotation and times of day and worker hours.
Yeah.
So we had daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time, yeah.
So in England, apparently, they don't do daylight savings time. I don't know why I didn't know this since I lived there. And maybe, I don't know. Anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
Brand new news to me.
So Jonathan, I messaged him yesterday, like 5 minutes before we're supposed to go on. And he's like, I thought that was in an hour. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure we did the math on this and we figured it out. Well, he doesn't have daylight savings time. We do. It just changed for us very, very, very recently. What was it, a week and a half ago?
Yeah, almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So
I'm still upset about it, but whatever.
You haven't gotten into the rhythm yet. You will be by Monday. I bet you'll be like, woo! I'm excited.
I think my body caught up to the daylight savings, but my emotions have not.
Your emotions?
My anger is still.
I think your anger is still there because we got a tease of like a 72-degree day, and then it went back down to 30 the next day.
It's still. I'm still okay with it.
Because I'm still angry about that.
No, I'm not angry about it. I'm angry.
No, I'm angry. I'm not a huge fan of the heat anyway, though, so it's sort of irrelevant. All right. It's already time for a break. We haven't even talked about what the heck we're going to talk about today. So we're going to cover some stuff, and you should listen. We'll be right back.
Haven't had your coffee yet? Us either. That's why we're taking this quick 20-second break so we can slam a cup real quick. Don't worry, the Solid Reasons Morning Show will be back in just a few more seconds. Much better. And we're back.
Okay, so what are we going to cover on today's show?
Well, before the interview, a couple things.
The interview's going to... Well, maybe it'll happen.
Maybe.
You got to go through all the exchanges and
Do you want to talk about
Hey, like,
Obama mandatory
customs.
voting, or do we not care about that?
You can totally tell you're eating a donut right
That's
now.
okay. I'm not swallowing in the mic.
This donut's great.
It is great. I could eat some more frosting though. This one, you can kind of see it through it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You need to like not see through the
transparent frosting.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah, it needs to be thick, but donut's pretty good.
Yeah. Honey Dip, huh?
Yeah.
Local establishment. We support local businesses like Honey Dip right here in the Milwaukee area.
Yeah.
Visit your Honey Dip Donuts today. Not paid for by Honey Dip.
Not paid for by anyone.
But if you'd like to send us some moolah.
Do you want to talk about Obama doing mandatory voting, or are we just going to
I don't care about that at all.
Cool.
That's stupid.
It's real dumb.
That's all I have to say on it.
I think everybody kind of agrees with that.
I really hope so.
Me too, because I'm kind of scared then at this point.
I just really, I mean...
we can move on. I wanted to see your reaction to me saying that.
You can't literally force anyone to vote. Think about this for a second, though.
Because you got the Gestapo.
What are you going to do? You're going to go into a booth and you're going to write in Big Bird. And technically, that's voting.
That's literally what I would do if that happened. I want people to know that. I would literally do it out of principle.
Yeah.
It's not America.
Vote. Not for the clown that made me vote.
I'm sure. Not that guy. It would just say that. Not that guy.
All right. I'm done talking about that. What? How ridiculous. All right. So did you see the article? I think it was in CNN. No, I don't remember. It was not in CNN. Your favorite news source. Talking about the UN potentially taking up Saeed, the pastor that's
Christian Post
illegally arrested in Iran right now.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool.
That's pretty
Saeed.
Cool.
Yep.
He's American, right?
I think he's Iranian American or something.
Okay.
He's Arabic American.
Yeah.
American Arabic. I don't know what the proper political correct title is. But anyway, I'm really excited for that. I think that's the potential of that being taken care of. I mean, he's been
for a while now. It's been a long time, right?
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's just silly in this entire thing is like you get to a point where all of a sudden you seem to be getting closer to like, oh yeah, look, hey, something happened, and then just kidding. So.
Well, you can't depend on...
Obama said that this was the top priority of his, by the way.
He says a lot of things are his top priority.
I wonder if it's a part of his Iranian nuke deal.
I know his picking up...
We'll let you have a nuke if you release Saeed.
Recently, his top deal was picking the NCAA basketball champions.
I don't understand that.
Why do we care, right?
I don't get basketball to begin with, so I don't understand why it's that big of a deal.
Oh, nice.
Early.
That's good. That's good.
That's good stuff right there.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't quite understand the basketball thing at all.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the specifics as it relates to
why
it matters that a president is picking what team is going to win and what team is not going to win.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. But anywho.
This is where we are in America.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we wanted to talk about momentarily was the Presbyterian minister.
I want to talk more about that. This is not going to be enough time. But there's a guy, a Presbyterian minister, who says he does not believe in God. He takes the principles of Christianity, but he does not believe in anything the supernatural about it.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't really. If we can go through it later on, maybe before we call Paul Ruppel.
Yeah, dude, that's a great Paul Ruppel.
Maybe Paul
Friday
call.
Paul call.
Yeah,
Paul Ruppel call.
I think that's something that we need to investigate a little more, because I read the whole article last night and I kind of went to bed angry about it.
Yeah,
because
you should go for a run after stuff like that.
I probably should
get your anger out.
I just it's angering me, and it's heartbreaking that the people are being ministered by him.
Yeah, well, ministered.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Remember we had that conversation at one of our conferences about how there's a 30% of pastors are atheists.
Speaking of which,
crazy.
Next Tuesday, we're going to talk to Ian Simpkins.
Yes.
So
I love that guy.
That guy's pretty
I'm excited
awesome.
about that.
He's one of our speakers here at Solid Reasons down in the Chicago area, and pastor, local church.
Just a nice guy.
He was the one that brought up.
That was the guy. That's why I was going to.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jonathan McLatchy. We'll be right back. Maybe.
The Solid Reasons Morning Show will be back in just a moment so that I can tell you about our cool social media pages. No, seriously, they are pretty cool. Okay, well, they're not that cool. But if you're a Facebook or Twitter junkie, check us out at facebook.com/solidreasons and twitter.com/solidreasons. Are you still there? The Solid Reasons Morning Show will be back in 3, 2, 1.
And we are back. Yesterday was an interesting day just because with the time difference and the daylight savings time and all the other stuff.
Then the time constraints.
Yes.
So
I think the time constraint was probably the biggest thing, and that was just I'll totally take ownership of that.
But like I said,
I'm not going to blame that on
your
Jonathan.
Fault. Your fault.
Even though I would think that he would understand that here in America we have daylight savings time.
So you're passing the buck. All right. Fine.
No. It's my fault. I'm just saying I would have
thought, but he should know.
I would have thought that he would have known.
Well, like I said earlier, I was very impressed by his ability to cram all that stuff in within a 5-minute window. It's very good. So
it's Bush's fault.
Well, it has
Sorry.
It has been
8 years.
8 years since he's been in office. So yeah, I think it's still within the realm of his fault.
Sorry.
We've lost like 15 listeners.
I don't know. We might have gained some.
Maybe it evened out. Do you want to talk to Jonathan now?
I suppose we could.
Yeah,
we could talk to Jonathan. All right, Jonathan, how you doing, man?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Do you agree it's Bush's fault? I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that.
No, I want to hear his answer.
All right. So yesterday I think we made people's heads explode. We gave you like 3.5 minutes, and we said, all right, what are all the objections to intelligent design? Go. And you were like, here they all are. And we, of course, people were like, whoa, I think that I just opened a fire hose. And
he put out the fires, though, right?
Well,
metaphorically?
Yes, those fires. I just, it's like drinking from the fire hose of knowledge, and it's like you can only drink so much, right?
You have to like...
Yeah, you have to hold on a second. Let me digest the swallow here a little bit. Anyway, so you brought up a lot of really good points, I think, that really need to be addressed. Of course, intelligent design being the concept that we are created, that we are in fact designed. Tell us real quick, in a very simplistic way, as far as intelligent design is concerned, does it advocate a God being as the creator or as the designer, or is it really just advocating for the concept of a designer?
Well, intelligent design theory in its purest sense really just leads us to the concept of an intelligent agent being responsible for the origins and development of life on Earth. Certainly, there are many intelligent design proponents who subscribe to the God proposition, and there are other intelligent design proponents who are agnostic on that question or even subscribe to alternative views. So intelligent design in its purest sense is silent on the identity and nature of the intelligent designer, but I think it has profound theistic, broader metaphysical implications.
Sure. And so you've got individuals like Stephen Meyer, Paul Nelson, that would probably go more of the theistic creation route, both young Earth creation, old Earth creation. Of course, you've also got individuals that believe in theistic evolution as well as a part of that, model. But intelligent design, it's not necessarily a concept where you're necessarily advocating for creation, but just simply based on the science itself, you're looking at, hey, this makes sense. This is an alternate view to Darwinian evolution.
Mm-hmm. So intelligent design really is religiously neutral. I mean, it doesn't say anything about whether God exists or whether Christianity is true and so forth. Like the Big Bang is religiously neutral, but nonetheless, the Big Bang, I think, has larger metaphysical, theistically friendly implications. And in a similar way, intelligent design, although as a proposition is religiously neutral, I think it contributes to a larger consilience of evidence, which I think sits better at home in a theistic universe than a non-theistic universe.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that you brought up yesterday, as far as intelligent design is concerned, was the kind of the concept, if you will, that some scientists and I'll put it in my terms, in extremely non-scientific terms, but that scientists believe that an individual potentially could act lazy or look at certain things in a different manner with the science that's there. This is one of the objections to intelligent design, that maybe people would say, oh, wait a minute, I can get to this point and I can get as far as I can, and then all of a sudden I can just insert designer. And as a result of that, it seems that the scientist is essentially being lazy. And interestingly enough, we talked to an individual last year at a conference in Springfield, Missouri. The guy was from Fermilab. And one of the things that he talked about, Fermilab is an organization that does, I think they do atom splitting and all this crazy, awesome stuff that I just, look at pictures and you're like, wow, it's cool. I have no idea what you do or the science behind it, but that's great. But he had talked about that same kind of concept, that it almost seems that for an individual to go into the science field, you almost have to have a naturalistic worldview, not even as a Christian, because you have to look at certain things in order to not be lazy, in order to not insert, oh, well, that's just God. You have to dig deeper. So talk a little bit about kind of that objection as far as intelligent design is concerned. Is it in fact that,
Sure.
People, is the intelligent design theorist, is that individual being lazy when it comes to a certain point?
Well, first off, right off the bat, I'd say that certainly the idea that you have to subscribe to a naturalistic worldview, a naturalistic paradigm in order to do good science is simply not true. I mean, many of the founders of modern science were Bible-believing Christians. I'm talking about people like Galileo, Copernicus, Isaac Newton was a theistic believer, and many others. In the case of the objection that you raised concerning intelligent design proponents being lazy and just plugging in God at points instead of continuing to do research, I think that's simply nonsense. I mean, it basically boils down to a God of the gaps type of objection, which is to say that the intelligent design is like a placeholder for the things that we're ignorant of. Whereas intelligent design really is an inferential argument to the best explanation for multiple competing hypotheses. It's not saying, well, we don't understand how this could have come about naturally, therefore we'll just plug in God or an intelligent designer. Rather, what we're saying is this can't be explained by stochastic, gradual chance and necessity type of mechanisms that are currently known, but we do have an explanation which is known to produce this type of phenomenon, namely intelligence. So when we find information in any realm of experience, whether it be in the form of a hieroglyphic inscription or a newspaper headline or the paragraphs in a book or computer programming script or what have you, it uniformly traces its source back to an intelligent agent. And so in the case of the information intrinsic to the hereditary molecules of DNA and RNA, the intelligent design argument is basically that the best explanation, the most causally adequate, the most causally efficacious, if you will, explanation for that information is that it too arose by virtue of an intelligent agent. So it's an inferential argument rather than a God of the gaps argument based on ignorance.
Yeah. I had just a question about the Cambrian explosion. I think is one of the more fascinating things that I've read about, and especially reading Stephen Meyer's book, Darwin's Doubt. Can you just explain to our listeners kind of what the Cambrian explosion is and why it is kind of almost a death blow to Darwin's theory?
Sure. So the Cambrian explosion is an event in the history of life that happened during a geological epoch called the Cambrian period. And during the Cambrian period, within a very narrow window of time, depending on how you date it, between like 5 or 10 million years or so, and the geological record documents the abrupt appearance, the abrupt emergence of most of the major animal phyla, the body plants. And they appear very abruptly with no clear predecessors in the Precambrian strata. And the neo-Darwinian model, of course, would predict that you would get these large-scale differences, this morphological disparity, if you will, only proceeding, not preceding, numerous small-scale speciation events, whereas what we actually see in fossil records is the reverse of that, where you see large-scale differences and then you see variations on those themes, those body plans over time. And there are indeed, at the time of Charles Darwin's writing of the origin of species, he acknowledged this conundrum. And at that time, there was virtually nothing really known about fossils in the Precambrian. We now have an abundance of fossils that have been found in the Precambrian strata, but interestingly enough, they're not predecessors to the animals found in the Cambrian. And in fact, you can find animals like sponge embryos, for example, and other soft-bodied creatures, which are found in the Precambrian strata, which undercuts a common rejoinder to this argument that the animals preceding the Cambrian fauna were just too small or too soft-bodied to be preserved. And so when you actually look at what is required to explain morphological innovation in form, what's required to explain the origins of new protein folds, what's required to explain the origins of new body plans, what's required to explain all these other radical morphological innovations that were accomplished at the Cambrian explosion, it seems that it's strange credulity to think that that all that radical genetic rewiring and this innovation, this radical innovation of information, could be accomplished within such a narrow time frame. So
I think that one of the most amazing things regarding what you had just said is actually a quote by Richard Dawkins, and it was in I don't even remember where it was in now, but he said, and I think it really explains.
Is it the one about design?
Yeah,
it's a blind watchmaker. I think he wrote it in that.
Oh yeah. But it's probably one of the most amazing, admissions, I guess you could say, from a naturalist, from that believes that it agrees with Darwinian evolution. But it's an admission to intelligent design. And his quote is essentially, it looks designed, but we know it's not designed. Well, how do you know it's not designed? Why are you stating that it looks designed? And the fact that you're just willing to, set the evidence aside for design and not even dig deeper into it. I mean, this is an individual that has spent, most of his life now advocating for atheism, advocating for Darwinian evolution, and advocating against all religion. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a very interesting
concept. In every
concept.
other aspect of life, when we look at things, in no other area can we say if something looks designed, it isn't designed, right? Yeah. I mean, in any other, it's just common sense to me. But what are your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
Right, and there, we imply, and it's not just a subjective thing where we say, that looks a little bit designed, like looking at faces in the clouds or a little face on the moon or something like that. But it's we actually have a rigorous methodology for detecting and inferring design. And the two criteria which are necessary to establish a design inference are, number one, complexity. So it must be improbable, and I would say so improbable that it actually exhausts the available probabilistic resources. So that's important. And the second criterion which you need to justify an inference to design is that the phenomenon or the pattern must conform to some independently given pattern. And we call that a specification. So to give an example, if you take an ATM machine, you have, if you take the number 0 to 9, and you have a 4-digit PIN number for your card, there's 10,000 possible ways of arranging these numbers to yield a 4-digit number. But only one of them is going to give you, is the PIN number that's specific to your bank card. And so that conveys specified complexity. Now, if you have 10,000 trials, then it's likely that on one of those occasions you're going to stumble on the number just by chance. If you only have 3 trials before the bank locks you out of your account, then it's very unlikely that you're going to stumble on the number by chance.
It's a great. I was gonna say it's a great example of the DNA coding and stuff and how that works. We only have a few minutes left. Can you just give our listeners just a couple different good sources, either to get started with getting information on intelligent design, and kind of where you would guide them to if they're first starting on the journey of this concept?
Sure. Well, the website, the blog of Discovery Institute is Evolution News and Views, evolutionnews.org, which will give you news items every day, concerning the intelligent design evolution controversy. I would recommend intelligentdesign.org. Also the website of Discovery Institute, discovery.org/CSC for Center for Science and Culture. And I would recommend a number of good books. Stephen Meyer's Signature in the Cell is very good on the origin of life. I'd recommend Darwin's Doubt, which is, as you already mentioned, his book on the Cambrian explosion as evidence for intelligent design. Also, you could read the Design of Life by William Dembski and Jonathan Wells. There's a whole suite of literature on the topic of intelligent design, and you can find a lot of that on Amazon, or if you go to the Discovery Institute website, there's a lot of good material there. So that's the sources I would recommend.
Well, Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us today. We definitely appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
There's a lot of stuff out there that that is available. Jonathan pointed out a few different individuals that have authored a lot of books out there. And I think one of the easiest things to do to really jump into this area is actually start watching some of the films that are out there. And Illustra Media does a phenomenal job. Of course, Tyler Gaffney, one of the individuals that is a part of Illustra, is also part of Solid Reasons. There's some great stuff out there. Darwin's Dilemma, great documentary. The first half of it really goes into much of what Jonathan was talking about regarding the Cambrian explosion, and they've done the what do you call it, CGI, the computer graphics, in order to show you some of the stuff that they found in the original. You can't really make a fossil come alive, but they've done it, in CGI, which is really, really cool. And so some of those movies that are available out there. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Paul Ruppel. And we'll be right back.
I don't know about you,